Hello guys, so today we're going to be talking some things you should know to learn about kind of like geography things. Okay, so what is the first topic? Maps. So what are maps? Maps is kind of like a diagram which helps us know all the places on Earth. Well, not everything. So what is the first thing you should know about maps in this video? You're right. Never eat soggy waffles. Well, now what does that mean? North, east, south, west. The never part, the N stands for never, which actually means north. The E starts with an E, which stands for east. The S is for soggy waffles, which stands for south. And the W is waffles, which stands for west. So now, if you have a map, you don't even have to remember stuff. I mean, you should, though. It's simple. You use a map to define the places on Earth. Example. Where is Africa? You can see that it's after the Atlantic Ocean and Asia and Europe and stuff like that. We'll talk about those stuff later. Okay. So, with this northeast, southwest, they're not the only directions actually. You see, these are basic signs, but there's also some more. You see these extra arrows here? Now there's something even more specific. Example, what if it wasn't north neither east, but it was both north and east? If it was going this way on a diagonal of north and east. What's that? That's called northeast. Look what I mean, guys. Okay, so let's just say that we have a compass. They just show the directions on what sort of side you're putting on, northeast, southwest. Now, if your compass only has northeast, southwest, and it doesn't have any other signals, then what shall we do? If it's going between north and east, or west and north, or south and west, or south and east, then it'll put in both of those stuff. Okay, so what I mean is, guys, so how we name northeast and southeast? So, the way we name it is, northeast or northwest, right? Southeast or southwest. What you may see is that the north or south is said first, if it's in that direction. And the east and west is said second. Example, southwest. South is said first, and the west is said second. Like that kind of. And north is said first, and second is said east. And remember, you should never ever put in opposites, like north and south. Would you think that a direction would be both north and south? Well, you wouldn't be going both north and south, or else that means you have two souls of your body going in different directions. Well, no, that would be impossible. So east and west are like opposites, and they can't both go at the same direction, since they're opposite of each direction. So remember, never ever put anything opposite on the compass. Next thing. Let's talk about areas on the Earth. Let's talk about maybe the continents. Yeah. Because countries, there are millions. I mean, we can name them all. Okay, so what are the continents on Earth? North America, you can see. South America, Europe, Asia, Australia. Australia is also known as a country. After all, Canada is larger than even our own country, United States. And finally, Africa. So, and one more thing. Don't forget this one. Antarctica. Okay, so those are the type of continents on Earth. Did you notice something? Why are there some gaps on these within this continents? What I mean is, if the Earth is one, then why are all the islands separated? Simple. Oceans and seas. Okay, so what are oceans? Oceans are like the biggest sort of water forms on Earth. Like example, do you see this Atlantic Ocean? It's a really deep ocean and also a large ocean. So what are the oceans on Earth? Pacific, Atlantic, and you see Atlantic Ocean takes both of these and Pacific takes both of these. So what it is, let's just name them. Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, the Southern Ocean, and Indian Ocean. Well, you see, you don't really see Arctic Ocean because it is not on this map. But don't worry about that. You may get a map or a globe or something. Okay, so now that we know the types of oceans, what's the biggest ocean on Earth? If you said Pacific, then you're totally right. Pacific and Pacific. Now, you must be thinking, why isn't the Atlantic the biggest? After all, it takes like way more, and the Pacific only takes this much. If you saw that Pacific Ocean is also here, then all we need is just an explanation. You see, since this map is not a globe, the Pacific Ocean is back and front. So this whole thing is one part of the Pacific Ocean, and this is another part. And the Atlantic Ocean doesn't really have a separation since it's between two continents. Get it? Atlantic Ocean. So the Atlantic Ocean is the second biggest, and the first is Pacific. Now, what's the smallest ocean on Earth? Indian Ocean. I mean, pretty much a little bit obvious. A little bit. Well, even though it's called the Indian Ocean, it's not closest to India, is it? No. It's not closest to India. It's closest to the before tiny country. So, okay guys, so the Indian Ocean is directly below India. And it's not just India, Sri Lanka here. You know, pretty much a small, really country. A really small country.
What's the country name?
Indian Ocean.
What is the smallest country name that you are referring to?
Sri Lanka. Okay guys, so anyway. So now let's talk about countries. We're not going to talk all of the countries because there are like hundreds of countries on the map. Okay. So what's the largest country? Well, if you thought that it was pretty obvious of Russia, then you're correct. Pretty much obviously correct. You know, it's like expanded. It's like as big as a continent, literally, almost as big as a continent. It's like so close to North America, and it's like bigger than South America itself. The thing it isn't a continent is because it's like in Asia. Okay, guys. So, how do we know that an area is either? How do we know that we're in a different like continent or not? Oh, okay. So you see, between each continent, there's always at least one separation. Like example, through Africa, there's like a lot of seas separating here. And through North America, you know the thing that actually separates it? Central America. Actually, Mexico. Not really Mexico. I mean, it is Mexico because I'm sure that that's pretty much near Central America. Which is like, you know, pretty much kind of like the separation of it. Of North America and South America. In this Greenland is another. So now, let's talk about islands. What are islands? Islands are like a part, is like, kind of like an island, like an area of the thingy on its own that isn't attached to a continent fully. Like example, you may have heard the term islands before. Okay, so let's talk about this country called Iceland. Yeah, Iceland. So Iceland isn't attached to any of these continents. but it still is a part of North America. Why is that? Because it's an island. So, how do islands work? Islands are like a part of a continent, but are like on their own. And sometimes they might move around, but don't worry about that, okay? I'm pretty much sure that it's there.
Islands will move?
Not exact, but in the early formations of Earth, they used to. Get it? Because, ice used to move that times. So don't worry about that times, okay? So let's not worry too much. But they do move mostly. You see, every country or island on the Earth, sometimes islands are countries. So every island, all the islands are countries. Not every single one. The things that aren't really attached to continent. So you see, whatever it is, every country on Earth or continent always move. For example, in the first formations of Earth, the whole thing used to be one supercontinent. Well, and you know what? Well, now because since it's been ages since the very early Earth, now that the country has been moving apart in separation, now that there's been a little bit separation of things, and now that there's more than one continent, 7 continents. Okay, so, well, that's it about maps and countries. So, now, there's one more topic you gotta learn about. It's called coordinates. So, what are coordinates? Well, you would think the northeast southwest for that, because it is a part of northeast southwest. So what I mean is, did you ever see scientific stuffs like degrees or something? Those are coordinates. So what I mean is, okay, example. What are the degrees on the Earth kind of? 90 degrees east, some stuff like that. So, if you ever heard stuff like that, you see, a coordinate is a specific point on the Earth. Okay, so on the maps, on my map, you can see the coordinates here. 30 degrees west, 15 degrees west. You might not see them properly, but don't worry, okay? Because the labels on a map should be pretty small. After all, there's a bunch of countries and stuff like that. So this is 45 degrees west. And if you can or no, you might see this line. You might see this line. So this line, now you see the side coordinates here, 30 degrees north. Now, what if you want to see 30 degrees north and 45 degrees north? Okay, so where is 30 degrees north? This, right? And where is 45 degrees north? This, right? Now come to the line where both of these stuff are together. So this is the point. So the point of 45 degrees, the 45 degrees west and 30 degrees, north is this area, right? On the Atlantic Ocean. So that's it for a map. So bye-bye guys. See you next time.